Yes, 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 yes. All right. My God. Oh my goodness, this has been a while, man. God damn. Hey, what's up, everyone? What's up, whoever's watching? I've been out of this for a minute. I was inspired. I was having a lot of conversations since the last time I was on here, mostly in TikTok, believe it or not, mostly in TikTok. So got into it with a whole bunch of other, no whole other bag of Somalis that I've met. So I wanted to come back on here, maybe start this back up in a little bit. Rasmo, he says you've been MIA. I have. You're absolutely right. I have. And believe it or not, I'm just kind of dusting off the cobwebs. I haven't even advertised this or what I'm doing right now. So so please, Ras, if you can share it, I would really appreciate it. And whoever else is listening, if you can share it, I would really appreciate it. But yeah, no, most definitely, I wanted to. I've been yeah, Vanilla said, "Hey, I saw you on those TikTok chats. Glad to see you back on this again." It's funny because I've learned so much, man. I've learned so much the time I've been away from YouTube. I've learned that there's an awakening. There's an awakening. Look, I'm always going to be positive about this because, hey, man, we're all gonna die one day, man. What's the point of being negative? Try to go and reach for yours and get yours. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's what I aim to do, anyways. So love me or hate me, I'm gonna be me at the end of the day. So I want to tell you guys about what I have encountered in the internet universe and the different kinds of Somalis I've encountered, the different kinds of people that I've met throughout the months that I've been away. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. It's crazy because I'm inspired some days and I'm discouraged other days, but I'm mostly inspired because the conversations is being had on many fronts. This conversation, which is the exercise of freeing Somali minds, is being had at different levels, at different places, and from different kinds of backgrounds. Like I see, I've met so many Somalis in Europe, so many Somalis in the Scandinavian countries, and it's amazing what I'm hearing. Essentially, Vanilla said there is a big space for free thinking Somalis on TikTok. The following for a lot of them is more than I expected. Absolutely, Vanilla, and I expected a lot less than that too. I expected a lot less than that too. And yes, absolutely, the variety is also very amazing, right? I've met people from all walks of life, from all walks of life, and to me, I feel like what we're trying to accomplish here, right? What we're trying to get done here, um, is being done all over, all across the board. And I've even met Somalis, be they still Muslim, who are open-minded, who are super open-minded, and who just, man, we gotta rewrite our story, man. Like we gotta rewrite our history. Like enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to take control of who we are. We have to take control of what it is that people say of us. I just got off of a stream with a doctor from the Caribbeans, and he basically had no idea. Now we're just talking about the awakening of the Somalis, and at least in my little space of the world. And so I was basically inspired to hop on here, do a little check in, and just try to see if we can, start this back up. I do have some things that I want to, bring out in the coming weeks and months. I've understood something. Honestly, I've understood something, and these are the kind of things that you understand only through conversation. Only through conversation will you understand these different things. I understood that a lot of our people, right, Somali people, are by nature very spiritual humans. That we're just very spiritual. So when I say, and I come on and I say, no, I've left the deen of Al Islam, it's taken as me just stop being, since I, stop being a spiritual person, which isn't the case, right? So Oh my goodness, Kazorian Empire. How you doing? How you doing, brother? Uh, nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Nice to see you here, man. And man, I love the channel and the Nigerians, and also you supported in the past. Absolutely, man. Um, I'm Somali and I'm African. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so that's great. I'm not sure what you mean by made $1,000 to me. This is great. I'm not sure what that means. But if you made some money, you should share it, man. What the hell? In any case, I understood that Somalis. Every time I tell them, right? Every time I tell them, yeah, look, I don't believe in Islam and yada yada yada. My regular spiel, they're like, oh my goodness, it's impossible. So who do you like? They go into a spiritual route as if spirituality could only be found speaking Arabic language, right? As if Somalis did not have their own spirituality beforehand, as if we can't reinvent ourselves. So here's what I thought, right? I thought, look, it's not really that hard. Like we are already spiritual beings, right? If we actually have something that says, hey, these are the tenets that we follow, these are they seem to just understand that. Like honestly, what I understood is that I don't have to, I don't have to have the same template as these Abrahamic religions, right? Be May they be Christianity or Islam. Like I don't have to have the same template, and they oftentimes force you to have that same template. And I say no. I simply say no, and I think we can create our own. Um, and essentially, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to reinvent the way Somalis look at spirituality because we had this, man. We're Africans. We had this already in our DNA. I believe this kind of spirituality left Africa, got repackaged elsewhere, and brought back to us. So, be that as it may, we need to actually uh, say so. Yeah, Somali warrior says Kazurian Empire guy is a troll. I know who he is, man. Thank you, though. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And by the way, if you guys want to come up and have a conversation, just posted the link there. So you guys can come up and have a little conversation. I won't be on for too long. I just wanted to kind of do a checkpoint. I wanted to kind of come in and say something and actually, you know what? What I try to do, like I tried to restart StreamYard. As you can see, it says powered by StreamYard on the corner there. I lost my subscription, so I got to get my subscription back. However, I was inspired after my conversation with the Caribbean, that doctor from the Caribbeans, and who currently lives in Canada. And I was having this conversation, and I realized the journey, the journey that we've been through, the journey that we are still on, the journey of awakening the minds of the beautiful Somali people, the noble Somali mind has to be awakened. And I've realized that it has in many fronts. And I'm encouraged, man. So this here is a message of hope. It's a message of you know what I mean, to see things that are coming our way. So that's why I wanted to come on here and kind of open up the mic a little bit and broadcast a little bit and leave something behind. So I named it the new Somalis, right? The new Somalis are everywhere, man. They're everywhere. The same thought process, I believe, has gotten into the cloud computing of the collective Somali mind and is now being accessed, ladies and gents. That's what I believe. I really saw this with my own two eyes. Ras Moise said, we need that part two interview of the Somali sister who married an Haitian. Oh, yeah. And again, yes, yes. The young sister, yes, absolutely. I don't know if there was going to be a part two, but I was going to have conversations with a lot more different people, a lot more different Somalis that were living outside, should I say, of the scope of what is believed to be Somali, regular Somali, ways. People that are waking up to it, people that are understanding and owning their power. I've met so many of them. I've met so many of them. So I want to be able to discuss with them. I want to be able to see, what's making them tick. The thing though that mostly I've realized in while being in in TikTok of all places is that I've seen that it's how should I say this? It's the awakening is happening in so many different fronts in the sense that everyone is realizing through their own ways. They're realizing that we are now in a position where we can rewrite our history. Like for example, the Hebrew language, for example, right? This was, for all intents and purposes, this language was dead to the humans, right? This was a dead language for the long time. What happened? We Some people got together and said, no, we're going to revive this. So once it got revived, and now it's it's the national language of Israel, for example. I don't know why we wouldn't be able to do the same thing. Now you have to understand that Somalis, for the most part, are very, very, very tribal in more ways than one, right? They're very tribal. They're very set in their ways, if you will. Now, there's some thoughts, right, that people are saying that they want to achieve the original and authentic Somali ethnic. There's been some conversations being had in what do you call it in TikTok where are Somalis and between Somalis and Bantus and all that. So these conversations are being had. I'm not too much interested in that, to be very very frank with you. In the but what I am for is to actually contest and demystify and pretty much abolish the thought that this fake Arab ancestry that Somalis seem to sometimes hold on to. Makes no sense whatsoever that a few Arab men came and fathered 20 million black Somalis, black nomads, right? Within 700 years. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up, right? And on top of that, it actually, what does it say about our the women. So that means that there were so many, black Somali women that were just waiting for these Arabs to inseminate them. They were waiting at the shores of the Somali Peninsula, just waiting for these Arab men to. It just makes no sense, right? And this created something like something that I see as a disease of the Somali people, which is tribalism, right? So once we actually undo that. The fact that this fake Arab ancestry. I believe that the tribe concept will no longer make sense, and people are just going to awaken from that as well, right? Um, be that as it may, this is not the first time that people have actually tried to do this, right? Like I mean, when uh, back in the day, we can see people actually trying to contest this, trying to battle against this force that was coming our way, right? So who's this book bageg says Uriya or score and Uriya score. Somali warrior says some Somalis are enlightened, but some are just set in their ways. See, absolutely, Somali warrior. Some are just set in their ways, man, and they just won't let go. Or you know what it is. It's a lack of confidence. I'm sorry, it's a lack of confidence because when you stay in the way that you're brought up and you don't try to change or at least analyze it, you're basically saying that you don't want the accountability to do that. You're basically saying, no, thank you. I'd rather not put any thought into this. It's already been thought out by someone else, as if other people had access to more information, when the truth is they had access to less information than we do today. You understand what I'm saying? So, Somali Warrior says, we won't be able to revive our ancient religion because it was not written. So I think it will be like how our ancestors practiced it. But that's the thing, though, right? So that unlike we copy the Oromo version or Afar because it's close, but our original Somali won't be 100%. Well, I have some news for you, Somali warrior. There's a people called the Rendile people in northern Kenya, and essentially they are Somalis for all intents and purposes. They are Somalis. Okay, so these Somalis still hold on to Waqiya, all right, the ancient practices of Waqf. More so, however, who says we have to go back to that? Because let's be honest, right? Back then, life was just a lot different than today. Life is like we're living in modern times. We're living in the 21st century. We're living in the now. So what I was thinking is like If I tell you, okay, if all of us got together and we sat at a table, chances are we would have come up with the same, we would agree on most things when it comes to how we should govern our people, right? We would agree on most things. So why not rewrite it? Why not rewrite it? Why not? Because you're right. Somalis never really wrote this down, and we're a nation of poets, right? Our poetry would forever be, will always reverberate in the halls of history, and forever is there. However, who says that we can't reinvent it? And actually, now that we have access to the written language, why not just write it down? Why not write down a series of how we see the Somali community going forward? Incorporating some of the olden wave and modernizing other ones. I don't know why we are so attached to how things had to be back then. And this is one thing I realized on in myself. All right, and I am Somali, so then it's somewhat in our DNA to always want to have the most exact thing and never really producing anything until we have the very most exact thing. Look, it's better that it's done than unfinished forever. What I mean by that is it's better to get it done to have it than to have it like perfect. So what I'm thinking is in the situation we're in right now in the 21st century as Somalis, right? They are there's so much, man, there's so much messed up things happening, especially in the Horn of Africa, man. There's so much messed up things happening. And I, for one, believe that when you have your set of beliefs and they dictate how you actually interact with life and what's happening around you, that if your basic beliefs aren't in line with what the life you're leading and the life you're trying to lead, then it's never going to get anywhere. Okay, it's never going to get anywhere. So your basic beliefs where you're actually starting from has to be rectified, as opposed to just trying to change the outcome without actually changing the foundation. It's sort of like you can't fix the building from the third floor. You got to start in the foundation. So what I'm trying to say is, why not propose to the Somali people of the 21st century a thing produced by a Somali person saying, look, these are the tenets that we should be, abiding to spiritually. These are the things. And spirituality and governance are two different things, in my opinion, right? And we've been led to believe that they're one and the same. We've been led to believe that the Deen of Islam is Deen and Dolat, meaning it's a religion as well as a governance. Okay. Now, first and foremost, let me just try and say this. First and foremost, we are Somalis. The word deen is an Arabic word. Our word for it is dakan, which literally is culture, because the deen is a culture, is an Arabic culture. What do most Muslims say usually? Hey, the religion of Islam, and say, no, Islam is not a religion. It's a what? It's a way of life. It's a way of life. So if it's a way of life, that's culture there. Like, yeah, why are we blinding ourselves to that? And we say dakal. So first and foremost, I want my Somali people to actually erase this word from their mind, the word deen. I want them to erase it from their mind because it makes no sense. You are Somali. You have your own words. You have a much richer language. Man, I'm gonna go on different tangents, and I hope that you guys try and can follow me. But I was in these conversations, and I was literally talking to a Somali person that was now I'm straight up telling me that Arabic it's a much better language than Somali. Okay, that was telling me that to be Arab is much better than to be Somali. Okay, and the mind-boggling thing that happens after that is I tell them, well, if you dislike Somali nimo, like why don't you just And then they're like, no, 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 no. To be Somali is to be Muslim. So do you see there's a cognitive dissonance that's taking place right in front of my eyes? That this person dislikes anything and everything that's Somali because they're aspiring to be Arab. Meanwhile, they're telling me, who has left Arab culture, and I like to call myself a Somali revert, and went back to his Somali roots. I'm learning, okay? I'm learning they call me as a next Somali because you're no longer Somali. If you're not Muslim, you're not Somali. So make that make sense, people. Make that make sense. And I'm having these conversations, and sometimes I'm in awe because I have nothing to say. I don't know how someone can compute that in their mind. I have no idea. You understand what I'm saying? So let me go back uh, to the comments a little bit. Somali warrior said, I know Ndili, they're not Somali, but they're close to Somalis. Their culture is more Nilotic in practice. Our own way of real Somalis won't be possible. Yes, be that as it may, Somali warrior, but we can look to the future and reinvent it. Do you understand what I'm saying? We can. There's an actual Somali ethnic group, not in Ndili, but actual Somalis who are called Boni people. They still practice the original Somali um, uh, well, uh, well, the closest. I'm not sure what you mean by that. They live in Kenya, but in forest. The Boni people, I've never heard of them. This is the first for me, Somali warrior. This is the first for me. Never heard of them. Oh, Ultra, big man in the house. What's up? Big up all my freed Somali brothers and sisters. Big up to you, Ultra. Good to see you, man. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. So, so yes, essentially the conversations that I've been having, and I think I'm going to start doing a little bit more videos. I have no idea if any of you are technical men, help me out with this. I'm trying to get this onto TikTok and TikTok onto here somehow. Do a bit of a cross pollination because I have a little over 1,000 followers on TikTok, and I was just trying to kind of, and the conversations are live. So we have live conversations, and some of the most hilarious conversations that I've ever had, to be honest with you. So essentially, what I'm trying to do is remind the Somali mind of their Somali namo. That's essentially what I'm trying to do. Because look, man, we're all on this earth for a brief moment. While I'm here, that's what I'm basically making my thing. That's what I'm making um my that's the hill I want to die on, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. Because the reason being is because someone like me who's born in East Africa, you know, grew up in on the other side of the Atlantic, grew up in Canada. I see sort of like how Somalis see things. All right. So I have the Somali perspective, but I also have the other people's perspective of Somalis. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the thing that actually is always, in a silent or in a cold war in my mind. It's like I see and both sides make sense to me to a certain extent. But what I always try to do, um, okay, let me go back a little bit. Cow says, "Oh my God, man, the cows, man, yeah." Hello, 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 Sudo, Sudo, Sudo. Sahrakum said, love this channel, love what you're doing. It's so essential. Thank you so much, Walalo. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It's been a while, cows. I know. I'm basically sharing what I've been, learning since I've been away from here, and it's hilarious because a lot of people from here actually I've met again in Clubhouse as well as TikTok, right? So it's almost as though like I'm seeing friendly faces everywhere, and then we're growing in numbers. We're growing in numbers, and I've had the absolute pleasure of seeing Somali minds being freed right in front of my eyes when on TikTok. I have people coming in, rah-rahing, calling you the basics. You're not Somali if you're not Muslim, blah blah blah. Things that don't make sense, anyways. And when they see that none of that is hitting, then they listen to me. Then they're like, "Yo, what do you got? What do you got to say?" And they say, this is the question they always ask me. Okay, if you're telling us to leave Islam, where are you bringing us? And I'm always mind boggled by that. I'm like, first of all, I'm not trying to, you know, tell people to do whatever. I'm not a dictator, okay? Waxaan soo bandhigayaa on my own in ereygeyguma aan ugu sheegayaa maxaa kada afkaarteeduman soo gudbinaya. Marka our people's got to start thinking for themselves. Why do we want to be led all the time? What's the point of wanting to be led all the time? This is what I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. So what is this need of wanting to be led? So I say, so ما حدثنا انت تعمل جايه دونسا عدان حكي 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 بدي جوه داباد لا. So if I bring you out of this, you want me to get you somewhere else. When I'm trying to get you to independence, I'm trying to get you to a place where you think for yourself. I'm trying to get you to a place where, as you could that you have confidence enough to say, "What do you? I got this one life to live, right? Okay." Nobody went to the hereafter and brought back a YouTube video, so I have no idea what the hell's gonna go happen when the last breath leaves my body. So I'm not happy. While I'm here, however, can I make things better for my people? Can I make things better for all humanity? But like, can I make things better? But like, it starts with myself. I got to make things better for myself. And then I can make things better for my community. And after that, the world. Lakin, our people have been so indoctrinated to a point where they believe that they need to, they need to hold on to something else. And you know what that is? That is the lack of accountability. That's the lack of confidence that has been injected in us because we were told that our Most High doesn't even speak our language. We were told that the Most High doesn't even speak Somali. You got to speak Arabic to be heard. God damn it. Marka dibatid Arabiga lagula hadlaya. When you go into the grave, you're gonna ask two questions. Those three questions are gonna all be in Arabic. So I think this whole thing kind of became hilarious to me because now I asked some big chefs, Chef Ho, after if I don't speak Arabic and I die, how will I be able to answer the interviews? You know what I'm saying? Like, because this is a joke. It's a joke at this point. At this point, it's a joke, guys. So I was in these conversations, right? I was in these many different conversations with like some from all walks of life, man. Somalis from Europe, Somalis from Somalia, Somalis from America. And the conversation that I'm having, and I started actually asking a question that is, funny to me. So you guys tell me what you think. Oh, Hawaii says, "Oh my goodness, you're back." Yes, Hawaii. Yes, yes, yes. I'm back, or at least I'm doing a touch in to say what I'm planning on bringing back because I think these conversations are essential. I'm on TikTok a lot of times just having these conversations, and a lot of people on TikTok are also asking, "Hey, what's going on?" Right? So I think these conversations are essential for the next generation as well as our generation. This is a voice that we are able to have, and like my brother Dalmar says, science ka mahalle, through the magic of science, we are able to conversate, throughout the world. And so this is why, however, like, good to see you, Alalo. Good to see you. Um, Book Bagek says, first of all, it's a crazy name. Book Bagek. Okay. I never felt close to Somalis. Somalis are hard to please. I'm way more happy not trying to be accepted. Okay, so this is a good point. This is a very good point. Okay, I completely understand that. I swear, I completely understand that sentiment. I understand that sentiment so much so that I've gone through it so much that I came out on the other side. I don't know if you guys saw that movie, which is one of my favorite movies all time. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely see it. It's called Shawshank Redemption, which is a prison escape story. It's a beautiful story, and it's Morgan Freeman, I think, is in it. Yeah, Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins, if I'm not mistaken. One of my favorite movies, way I fancy one of my favorite movies, way and there's a point where he goes through like 500 yards of just shit. He went through the sewers, and he comes out on the other side, and it's raining on him, and it's being cleansed. That's how I felt that journey went for me. Bug Bageko. I I grew up in a place where I was the only, oftentimes the only black kid in the class, let alone Somali. ما فهمتي. So my Somali anymore, my all that. I'm like, okay, well, because you go home, Abo, Hoyo, Walalo, everybody Somali, okay, the cousins visit, the aunties visit, but then the regular Monday to Friday and whatnot, you go into school and you're going to school with all kinds of different people, ما فهمتي. And then when I go into the Somali, the family and things like that, and I try to speak up about something, it would get really, really quickly shut down. I would be shunned and say, no, 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 don't talk like that, man. No, no, forget that, whatever, right? And what I understood was, what the hell, man? Well, those can, screw them, to hell with them. And I just said, no, no, no. I basically cut off, besides my family, obviously, basically cut off my link to Somali. See my family. Like I would not, go to, the Aros or things like that. Like I would just say, no, no, screw it, man. Because it seemed like I couldn't relate with my own people. Then I got pissed off. I said, This is unreal. Why should I let this Farah over here, right? This Farah with the jar in his mouth dictate what Somali Nemo should be? Well, I mean, that's a lack on my part. Why should I let that guy or that woman, that Farah or that Halimo, that are all, called, why should I let them decide what Somali Nemo is? My DNA isn't changing. I'm gonna die with this DNA. I was born Somali. I'm gonna die Somali. My fancy. Marka, why should I let these, so some knuckleheads that I don't like discussing because they discuss people. They don't discuss ideas or anything else. They discuss people. And so I'm like, what's up with these low levels, right? But I understood very quickly that they were the exception. And a lot of my Somali people are super bright, super intelligent, super accomplished, amazing business people. Like once I started doing the research and kind of opening my eyes and going to different Somali circles, I realized that there was a lot more like me. Okay. So I knew first of all, I stopped being a people pleaser because that's just a cul-de-sac I don't want to be in. Being a people pleaser is you can't just first of all, you just can never people please. And if you people please, you're not pleasing yourself. And so you're always going to be someone that has to adapt. You've got to decide once and for all that people have to adapt to you without losing your Somali Nimo, because your Somali Nimo, well, it's written in your essence. So you decide. So I'm thinking this new Somalis, right? And this is the title of the stream. The new Somali is taking back what it means to be Somali. It's taking back Somali Nimo from the knuckleheads that we disagree with and that are not looking at the. It's time to do that. We're the only community that I know of that the common denominator is always the least favorable one. Those are people that we got to look at and say they're Somali. That's what it means to be Somali. Hell no, man. I say no. I say no. Who's gonna change my? I say no. No, those are not the Somali anymore that I wanna that I wanna propagate, because I'm Somali. Every day when I'm walking in these streets, anywhere I am, I'm always imposing my Somali anymore, and I always try to teach people about what it is to be Somali. I always try to do, even if it's just a regular conversation. I always try to do that. So what I understood, you are Somali. You are as close as you can be to Somali Nimo. Okay? Somalis are hard to please. Forget pleasing people. Please yourself and live out your Somali Nimo the way you see fit. Okay? You say, I'm way more happy not trying to be accepted. Yeah. Don't try to be accepted. Okay? Don't try to be accepted. Be the one with the filter. Okay? Don't put yourself in a position of asking. Position yourself to be the one accepting. My friend, I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but essentially you are who you are, and that's never going to change. My friend. So please retake that back and basically recolonize Somali anymore by a Somali. That's what we need to do. So please, do not despair and don't let the unfavorable side of Somalis lead you to believe that all Somalis are like that, because I found out that that's just not the case. So, good to see you too. Good to see you. How are you, Olalo? Somali Warrior says, me too. Sometimes growing up in that environment awakens you. Absolutely, it does. Absolutely, it does. Like and share the stream, family. Welcome back, Hawaii. Thank you so much, Walalo. And please, yes, like and share the stream. I'm trying to reclaim Hawaii. You said right, reclaim. Yes, I'm trying to reclaim our identity for myself. And we should. I urge you all, whoever's listening to the stream today or tomorrow or next year, reclaim who you are and never do it for this. Like, do not let anyone else dictate who you should be, how you should be, and what it is to be Somali. Because you, as a Somali person, you are a branch of that same tree. So you decide how you're gonna blow in the wind and how could I represent Somali anymore. Okay, so this is the thing I realized is that there's some people that are set in the ways of just we've been told even by our parents, man. Like, let's be honest. Somali the Somali the Wasira. Even from the households that we come from, we are shunning who we are. That's how a lot of Somalis grow up. A lot of Somalis grow up fearing, or not fearing, but like never really trusting other Somalis. Somalis grow up, there's this underlying mistrust that Somalis have towards each other. Now you can blame that on whole scope of things. You can blame it on tribalism. You can blame it on this, that, and the other. Lakin, we got to understand that we are now in the driver's seat. We are now in the driver's seat. It's 2023. It's the 21st century. We are able to speak to each other across oceans. Okay, this is powerful, people. And even though like Soma, a lot of people just kind of use it for for fun and games, it's a powerful tool that we have in our hands, people. And I think it's time that we use it in a way that we can just have a collective. And right now, we're talking about having a collective like meetups, Somalis of different, of this same progressive mindset, if you will, right? Um, Now, I'm gonna be honest. Like, there's a lot of Somalis that I've met that I will say, no, no, I'm Muslim Baska, all right? And be that as it may, I don't care what a person has in their heart. It doesn't affect me. What affects me is if what you feel in your heart now is hindering me in my life. That's what I have a problem with. Believe the goddamn, the pink elephant. All you will, I don't care what you believe. لكن what you believe should not hinder others. Your belief should be your own, and that's it. So reclaim what it is to be Somali anymore. And that's what I've been seeing. And so I'm encouraged, guys. I'm super encouraged. I'm super uh, pumped to kind of share the things that I've learned in the past few months, because I have been inspired. I've been inspired to say, look, we need a new brand. What's the new brand of Somalis? What is that gonna be? When are we, right? The Hawaiians, the Somali warriors, when are we going to be the norm? When are we gonna be the ones that represent Somali? So that's a question for you guys. You know what I'm saying? All right. Pimpa says, hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? I'm saying bro, but I'm not sure with that name. Ayub says some of our people become violent once you tell them you're no longer Muslim. You know what, Ayub? I understand that, but like Anugu, I tell them on a broadcast. I tell them on a, and here's the thing. Here's a funny thing, right? I was talking with one of those people on a live on a TikTok live, and he said, "Can you do adan ko arko madaxa ka goynaya wiil." My friend. He said, "Adan ko arko, I'm gonna cut off your head." Because then I asked him, do you think I'm just gonna give you my neck? Maybe you die in this confrontation. Maybe it's you that's gonna lose your life. Do you believe that you're just gonna easily kill me? And we have to think, these people don't, oftentimes they won't have the balls to do anything like that. They just say it because their religion tells them to say that. My fancy. So it's almost like they're parroting what they believe to be righteous. So Islam has made violence righteous for them. How does violence become righteous? How does ending a life ever serve a higher being? Like it makes no sense. So I just straight up say, if me and you were together face to face, you wouldn't do shit. That's just a fact of the matter. Okay? People like to repeat these things and they can get violent all they want, but my telephone could get like, so be it. And you know what? Another thing that I realized that you is that the people that come in with guns blazing are usually the ones that actually very quickly calm the hell down. Why? Because they come in with passion and zero knowledge. Once they get like an iota, once they get like a percent, a little percent, a sliver of knowledge on what the thing is that they believe in, they might not say, I left Islam, but they'll calm down, because in their mind, it shows them that this makes no sense. Why would I kill someone who doesn't believe the same thing as me? It makes no sense. So yeah, they can get violent all they want, man. So I say bring it. I say bring it, right? Ayub said, I've had threats of violence by our own people because I denounce it. It's sad. Absolutely, it's sad. All right? Good to see you back, though, bro. It's good to see you too, Ayub. You know what I'm saying? So, Ninway, so do, Sahib. So do. Book says, And guys, like, don't just talk through the comments, huh? Like, it doesn't bite. You guys come up. I'm gonna post the link again. Book Bubaya says, I'm Somali by DNA too, but my Somali speaking ability isn't great. I'm ex-Muslim. There's very little ties I have to my community, but I keep tabs for some reason. I don't know. I'll tell you why. Because it's your DNA. Because Book Bubaya, like I am not lying, man. Like, this is exactly the how could I that? That's the path I also went through. Because yeah, my Somali DNA is Somali. My DNA is Somali, right? In terms of speaking ability, okay, let's talk about that for a second. Because if we're going to be a new brand of Somalis, look, how could the African know and certainly no enforce? I'll tell you this. I know I was born in Djibouti, okay? In Djibouti, you from the grade 1 to grade 3. Grade 3, I left. I came to Canada when I was in grade 3. But like, you are taught in French. It's French language. I was never taught Somali language. I'm Somali. I was never taught the Somali language in Djibouti. And when you get to grade 5, which I didn't, because I moved to Canada before I could get to grade 5. Once you get to grade 5, guess what language they teach you? Arabic. Arabic. So French and then Arabic. Now, I'm Somali. Now I'm Somali. So you know what? And my Somali speaking abilities were being dimmed down because I wasn't using it. And languages are one of those things that, use it or lose it type of deal. My fancy. So I went on, like when I went to Clubhouse or TikTok, I'm talking to so many Somalis, and I'm basically in these Somali rooms, and I'm forced to speak Somali. Marka Somali dib u soo noqonaya. Here, dib u soo noqonaya. Like I'd say, I can have a full-on conversation. I have full-on conversations in Somali now, and like it's great. Somali gig adi. So you just got to practice it when it comes to some the speaking abilities. Because the other thing that Somalis do when you can't speak properly, they make fun of you. I've had to. But here's the thing, though. I'm speaking to Somalis from across across the how could I the Horn of Africa. So someone in the Wakoyi, someone in Beriga the Hag, someone in Hakudai Konfur, someone in Ethiopia occupied Somalia, someone in the NFD. We all have different lahjado. We all have different dialects, my fancy. So you can almost, maybe this is a cheat sheet, but maybe you can almost hide behind that as well. Yes, I'm saying. Like, the most important thing is to practice it. You gotta speak it. You gotta use it. Otherwise, you lose it, my fancy. Say I'm ex-Muslim and there's very little ties to my community. But here's that last part is what I want to talk about. But I keep tabs for some reason. I don't know. You keep tabs because what bigagi duhagi. That's who you are. Yo, Bobo, I swear, me and you, like I'm Somali, you're Somali. Me and you were at a cafe somewhere. Most of like we would have conversations. Excuse me, as two Somali ex-Muslims, and we would have a great conversation because we would have one common denominator, and that would be Somali anymore. So don't despair. Don't despair. You keep tabs because you care. Of Somalia, you know what time. Summertime. I also didn't grow up around Somalis. Yeah, I didn't grow up around Somalis either. And you know what? That does something good. There's something good about that. Okay, I want to talk about that as well. There's something good about growing up with people that are not Somalis. Okay, it's great to also grow up in your own community. I'm not saying that's not good, but like, what's good about that is that it forces you to look at your own people from the perspective of others. Okay, that it forces you to do that. It forces you. For example, let's say you're friends with, I don't know, you're friends with a Haitian dude. I don't know, some guy from the Caribbean, some Irish person, some whoever it is that you're friends with. They're not Somali. Sooner or later you'll have the conversation. Oh, where are you from? And maybe you'll tell them a couple of things. Oh, and they'll tell you how they see those people or how they see that part of the world, right? And that in yourself is gonna awaken something. So it's a good thing to actually grow up not around Somalis because it gives you a different perspective. And also I would argue also that it makes you yearn for your Somali name. If you're steeped in it, you're not really missing it. If you're out of it, you're gonna miss it. And that's why you keep tabs as well, right? So Vanilla said, I think that could be a sign for you to connect with like-minded free-thinking Somalis. We exist. 100%. We out here. We're out here. Now get on here, guys, if you want. All right. And now here we go. Ogolo. I mean, and it's so hilarious because his name literally means accepted. Ogolo. One Ogolade. Hey. Gals can't be Somalis. I'm gonna turn that around. Ogolo. I'm gonna say Somalis can't be Gals. Because if you understand what the word comes from, you're a little bit uneducated on this. So that let me try and share what I know of this so far, right? Gala, all right. Literally, like the way that the word was given out. Like even to this day, Oromos that are Christian use Gala. Like they Gala has always been referred to as others. Gala in the Somali context, وحكت Gela. Gela. So Gela, that means without camels, right? Like Gelbulaya. Gela means without camels. Somalis have camels. So how Somali cannot be Gela? Marka, a Somali cannot be Gal. This word existed before Islam. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna run it through the rinse cycle of Arab conquest and now give it a different meaning, right? Gal does not mean you left Islam. Gal literally means you're not Somali, but you're not Cushitic. My friends. So please wake up, wake up. It's 2023, man. Wake up. Chino says, "Mashallah. Personally, I'd rather speak beautiful Francis instead of vulgar of Somali." Okay, well, that's personal, you said, and you said mashallah. So maybe you can go ahead and speak Francis, ya Arabi, Somali. It's a noble language. It's a beautiful language. It's a rich language. It's the richest language on earth. Marka, put that in your pipe and smoke it, sahib. Ibn Akudayo. Ninway, how can I preserve Somali if I don't even speak the language myself? You learn it, Nin. You learn it, bro. Aska baran karasa. Imika aigo hakso haka Ninway. And you have the perfect way of writing it in Somali. So speak it the way you speak it. And I would encourage you guys to get into these forums where Somali people are speaking Somali, even if it is just to listen. Okay, get in these forums. How can they? You're gonna understand the cadence of the Somali language. It's a beautiful language, man. Also, so you can understand the cadence, the poetry in it, the way we say things, how we put things down. You're gonna understand that there's a rhythm to this language that is unprecedented. So I would urge you, Ninwayne, to go into these forums where people are speaking, or even just watch how could I YouTube videos or any kind. Consume Somali content. That's what I would say. Consume Somali content. Okay, that would be one thing that I would tell you in Ninwino, because the language is not that hard, and it is written in your DNA, and you will get it, my fancy. So onwards and forward, man. Bob Bike says, mon mec, je suis Djiboutien aussi. Ah, mais bienvenue d'abord. Bienvenue, mon frère. C'est parfait. Non, c'est bien. هذا Djiboutien تاعي في عتاعي. That's great. But Djibouti رسمها إن on nous a pensé ni عاك في Somalie قصة لوقرو نلوم ببري ما فهمت. لكن Djibouti في Somalie قام كو هذا لكن سلوقرو سلوا أخيو نلوم ببري. أنا قوانز بري. Like I had to learn myself, right? Hanino said, Djibouti aussi. Hiya, Djibouti, match screamit. Or one salam, Djibouti. My peeps. One salam, one salam. Somali warrior says, I grew up in an all-white village with no single Somali, but my parents and my friends were all atheists. It made me who I am today. If I'd grown up around Somalis, I'd be probably a Muslim today. Well, here's the thing, Somali warrior. I grew up around Somalis, even though a lot of times when I was in Canada, I would be the only black or the only Somali person when I went to school or anything like that. Lakin, today I'm not a Muslim, right? So this voice also exists. This voice is also out here. So that's the thing that we have to kind of understand. Like there isn't just one path to this. There's many paths. There's many paths. So we should basically say, look, we have to be able to say, we have to make a collective decision, guys, to reclaim what it is to be Somali. So essentially, I really came on here to start it back up and just to see if we can, if we can have some conversation. It's so good to see everyone. It's so good that we can still keep it going. What I wanted to do, Warak Samaha, in the coming weeks or so, I wanted to kind of just speak about certain things that I've written down, and I wanted to get your feedback as well. I'm doing this little project where I'm kind of writing down, and I want to be able to show people that it's not that hard, because in the many, exhaustingly many religious conversations, debates I've been into, the one thing that they always ask is, well, where are we going? What's going on? As if they want to be led, right? I want to be able to show them that you can be led by your own inner inner compass. But some people want jahwar al-sannahi. What I mean by that is that the Somalis have been confused, and they've been made to be confused for a while now. It's time to put an end to the confusion. Qofka Soomaaliga Soomaali markuu xaafada ku hadlo, markuu shaqada tago af Ingiriisi ama Faransiis whatever ku hadlayo, markuu miskiidka tagayna af Carabi ku hadlayo. There is no essence to this person. This person, they're turning every which way, so there's no growth that happens that way. In order to have growth, you have to have inner alignment. All right. How do you have inner alignment? Is that you have to be congruent with your principles. What I mean by that? What I mean is that if you feel like, my principle is to live a good life, and your belief system and things that you do has to be congruent. It has to be in line with that, right? But like I've met so many Somalis that have great intentions and everything like that. But the second you mention Nabi Muhammad, about Quran, they flip a switch. They become something else. They become um, a different breed. Like they become almost as though they forgot, almost as though they've been blinded by this new thing that's making them look at me, their Somali brother, as an enemy, as a Shishaye, as someone else, as a quote unquote gal. So we got to grow up from this mentality. We got to grow up from this mentality and get to that next level. Maisa says, Somali warrior, basically you have been molded by others. How about you go on your own journey, investigate whether the programming of your surroundings is actually the truth? At least that is what self-thinking atheists always accuse religious people of. Okay, yeah, well, I mean, maybe, and I think we're all on our own journey, and I want to basically say that no one journey is the truth. I know I see my Somali people, I see them as, if, okay, there's a big if, but I see them as prophets and prophetess. If, and this is the big if they are living in their truth. Now, what does it mean to live in your truth? What it means is that inside yourself, when you're all alone by yourself, what you feel is actually what you live out. Can't tell you the amount of time that I've been to a mosque and I could care less and I didn't even do whatnot, just because what I was feeling inside and what was happening just didn't match up. So it's a journey, guys. It's a journey. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a journey, and that journey, you just gotta. There's one thing that this journey demands of you. This journey demands that you be honest with yourself. Cid kale iska daa. Dadka kale iska ilo. Sidaa samee, even me. Iska ilo dadka kale. Adigu keliya, on your own. When you look in the mirror and you look directly in your eyes and you look into the abyss of your being, into the universe of who you are, head. If you find yourself in there and you sleep at night saying, yes, what I feel inside is what I'm living out outside, you're gonna sleep like a baby. And trust me, you're not gonna be afraid of death. You're not. Most people are afraid of death because they're leading lives that are not their own. They're leading lives that were told to them. And that is a bit of a disease, because that disease stifles you. That disease completely stifles a human being. All right. Now, does that mean that someone can be Muslim and be, yeah, sure. And look, I'm speaking from my own personal journey, and I'm speaking for like-minded Somalis that actually think like this as well, because I've seen so many people, but it's Somaha, understanding the inner workings of their mind and went on to live great, beautiful, fulfilling lives. Now, I got on here today because I was inspired. I got on here today just to have a little episode touch point, but I also got on here to say that I'm planning on coming back and doing more of a routine. I'm not sure if it's going to be a weekly or a bi-weekly, but in any way, we'll see how it goes. I have things to say. I'm writing a little bit. I have a little bit of work that I've engaged myself in that I'm trying to kind of put out into the world. Um, so essentially, I came on here to get the ideas, get the feedback from the people that I used to speak with, that used to come on, and things like that, and kind of just revive this a little bit, this Free Somali Minds platform. Be that as it may, I'm also on TikTok and under the name Kennedy as well. So this is actually the name that I've taken on for my Somali identity. So essentially, Kennedy really means someone that refuses shackles is essentially what it means, and I do. Maisa says, Ken, what is your worldview? How do you mean? What's my worldview? I'm uh, I'm a spiritual person. I find my spirituality through my ancient belief system, which was Waqiya, and that's where I go with my spirituality. If you're telling me about the worldview, the rest of the thing, I say work hard, be loving and be great to your people and learn. Read a lot of books. So, and politically, I'm a bit I would say fiscally conservative, socially liberal. That's what I would say. That's sort of my worldview myself, if that makes sense at all. But yeah, so essentially what I wanted to say is, at the end of the day, this work was going to keep going, and I'm not the only one doing this. I've met so many amazing human beings on the internet, and the what the printing press was for Christianity, I believe Islam. I believe the internet is going to be for Islam. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end my broadcast, but I just wanted to touch point with you guys, and hopefully, I'll see you again on my next stream. And I'm not sure when that's going to be, but I hope hopefully it's not going to be too long. I will be engaged in a lot of conversations, however, on TikTok. So if you're not on TikTok, get on there and join me there if you can. And I'm thinking of even doing some live shows there with some people because it's just easier, right? And I will share this platform with them as well so they can come and hang out with us here. But on that note, horta aad iyo aad baan igu mahadcelinayaa aad baan igu mahadcelinayaa maxaa kale Soomaaliya ismeesha doontiin jooga aad iyo aad baan ii jecelahay in eebina ani barakeeyo. So on that note, I say Somalinimo till we demo, and that's what we say.